All right, this is going to be our DB progression, corner progression for this week. We're going to start with some one-line work, then progress to some two-line. Then we're going to get some long transitional work working off the long stem of the routes, and then we'll have some box transitional work. Should take you 30 to 45 minutes with a workout. So the first thing we're going to start with is just our stance and starts. Let's make sure that we're getting ourselves in a good toe in step stagger. A good place to start is with your feet even and taking that toe to the instep and then dropping it back. This would be good for both catch man and or any of our zone coverages, depending on where the ball is. You can switch up your feet. Shoulders over knee, eyes in at the quarterback, hands are free. You're non-combative at this point, so you can just let them hang. There's no reason for you to have your hands up in a guarded position at this point. So the first drill that we're going to do is just going to be initial footwork. I want you to be thinking of pressing off the lead leg and reaching back with that back leg. So we're not going to be taking any false steps. Sometimes some of us take that back leg and step forward to go backwards. I want that to not be the case. So excuse the sound coming over this because this is a video from another video that we did a while ago, which you guys have access to. So you can kind of see I'm demonstrating exactly kind of what we need there is going to be we're going to keep that front foot down and we're going to drop that drive off that back leg almost like we're kicking out of that stance, but the cleats are going to remain low. We are going to keep cleats low to the ground always so that we don't have to worry about um, putting our feet back into the ground. So you're going to see the guys here, their eyes are in, and then you can see it's just that soft, that press off that lead leg and the reach with the back right there. Okay, you can see now when we're staying in that back pedal body position, one thing I want you guys to be thinking about is keeping that low profile. Some of you guys immediately raise up, but you can see here Tyler is pressing off the lead leg and reaching with the back, and he's just going to have that nice pacing of his feet going down his line. One, two, you can see his body position still stays good. His cleats are low to the ground in case he has to transition out. And that's it. It's just a 5-yard drill. I just want you repping that over and over again. You're going to get 5 of those with each leg being the lead leg. Then we're going to move to our pace back pedal. Okay. Again, this is when we're talking about getting out of the gate and reading the QB. So think of it as a 1-step, 3-step, and 5-step. We don't play many under center teams this year, guys. So it's going to be most out of shotgun. So that 1-step is when the QB is separating. So when we see that, we're in that slow pace, that read back pedal. Okay. If he begins to take his 3-step out of that pocket, we then pick up our pacing. Our eyes shift back to the wide receiver because now we know there's no quick game. And then if it's going to be a 5-step and he's going to take a shot, go vertical, that's when I'm going. I'm moving my feet. And I want you to stay in the back pedal as long as you can. Think about doing it for 15 yards just to work your back pedal and then bursting your hips to your man. Okay. If you're practicing it out of zone, turn to the quarterback. If you're practicing it out of man, turn to where your essential receiver would be. Okay. There's me him hawing about. Let's get to the drill. Dang. Okay, here we go. It's a good look, good stance and start. You can see that nice slow pace. There's your second gear, there's your third gear, and now you just turn soft out of it. Now let's go back to this. You can see his eyes right now on that quick game are going to be at the cue. He's going to read if those hands break. If now he's quick game is over, I snap to the wide receiver. He picked up his pace, and now he's working down the line. Okay, perfect look at how we're going to work our pace. Back pedal will get him coming back. Okay, there's 1-step, eyes to the receiver, good, 3-step, and 5-step. And you'll just have to kind of imagine it, okay? Now we're going to move to some two-line work, and this is where you guys probably need the most work, okay? Right now, one of the biggest areas for us is going to be working our weave, and when we work our weave, one of the things that we struggle with, fellas, is the fact that we are not we're kind of angling our hips and shuffling, so we can't do that. So we really want to focus on keeping our hips square and reach stepping, and then getting to that line so that we don't have any issues. That's that speed back pedal. I'm going to get to another video here because I think that's the wrong video. Yeah. So we're going to go from just those quick one line drills. Okay. If you want to add all of those drills, you can, the speed back pedal, you can, but I want to kind of keep some variation for you guys. So we're going to focus a little bit on one line, but I want to get to our two line work. All right. Okay, so now this is what we're talking about with the weave. Um, we're going to be starting on one line. We call these two line drills because we're going to go from one line to the second line. So 1 and 2. So we're always going to work in our stance and start. We're going to work that initial footwork, that reed back pedal. We're going to get ourselves going, and then we're going to weave to the next line over, and then we're going to do some sort of transition. Okay, whether we're going to be bursting out of it with a man turn or a zone turn, or maybe we're going to be center field turning or fishtailing. But what we're going to be looking at, guys, is we want to keep those hips square and we want to avoid crossing over. We want to be able to reach, gain depth and width with our feet. We also don't want to get ourselves caught in any type of basketball shuffle. Now, there may be a point where you do lose position and you have to do this, but this is not what we want to teach, because you can see how narrow my base is and how you have nothing to work off of. No cleats in the ground means you can't change direction. So we want to be thinking about a reach and replace. Reach with the directional foot, okay? Reach and then replace right to the offset of it. Replace. Don't cross. Reach, replace. Hips stay square. Okay, again, this is where you guys probably need to improve the most. So I would love to see you spend a decent amount of time on this. Okay, so here's going to be just our weave, get over, and then turn and go. Okay, and you can work your burst going both ways. So always start in that back pedal, eyes to the quarterback, train your eyes, and then go. If you don't have a QB in front of you, ask your mom, okay, or your dad, or your little sister, or your little brother. So it's back, weave, don't cross. You can see how Ethan kind of turns his hips a little bit, but he's still a little tall. Keep your body position. Egan does a better job. He's able to come out of it. Now we're going to progress to our next drill, which is going to be our our center field turn. With this one, I want you to start in your catch man stance. You are going to back pedal. Then you are going to immediately turn and cross over on a 135, and you are going to sprint to your second line. When you get to your second line, you are going to whip your head around and flip your hips like a center fielder who has misjudged a fly ball going this way, and then having the ball come back this way and having to turn quickly. So it's easier if you see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to backpedal, we're going to sprint to the line, and then we're going to whip our body around. Think about having a low lead shoulder, okay? One thing that I'll show here with Ty, because he's a good example, and even Ethan's a very good example. Ethan was a great corner for us, was that they both worked low shoulder. That's a good back pedal. Open 135. Now they're both in that sprinter's position. They're sprinting. And now when they get here, you can see low lead shoulder, okay? Low lead shoulder, and then they turn to get to the next line. If your shoulder's up, you're not going to be able to drive through that. So think about having a low lead shoulder when you're changing direction. Here's Ryan, crossover, playing baseball. It's Fordham. He's a center fielder. I would have liked to see him sprint to that line a little bit harder. Okay, Eddie's going to send him back, weave, come around. Good, low lead shoulder. Good effort. All right, now we're going to work our fishtail. Okay, fishtail is the same thing. We're going to start with the back pedal, but now instead of turning our back to the quarterback, we are going to flip our hips and turn to it. This is where maybe the receiver has done a double move in front of you and you kept your hips square. And so instead of having to turn and flip over, you're just going to react and then open up right to that. So he's kind of breaking into you and you're going to get yourself in that trail position. So I'm explaining here, talking, and these are available to you guys on our YouTube, on our remote development. If you guys want to click on it, you can hear what I'm saying. So here I've got them in a press man stance. Okay, that's your call. They're going to open up right from that position and they're going to go. Okay, so you can see, you can get yourself in a press man stance here, and you're going to see that open. So you're transitioning from a static position. Okay, and now again, low lead shoulder. He's going to plant, drive, whip that shoulder on. You can actually see Ethan is one step ahead. This is where Ethan's already got his plant foot in the ground and he's going to be whipping himself around. Whew, very good. And it's got to be violent and it's got to be fast. Okay. Here's Egan, who's playing safety over at Whitewater, trying to figure it out. Okay, so this is going to take us to our next part of our indie drill. We're going to be looking at some long transitional work today. So we're going to start with what we're going to call our long burst. So you're going to backpedal down a line and you're going to get 3 bursts in. And so you, again, keep that low body position, upper body is relaxed, keep those hips on a swivel, eyes looking back, shoulders flip, flip, and then one final. You're going to do 3. And if you have somebody who can throw you a ball, have them throw you a ball. Okay, this one's going to be what we're going to call a back burst and high post. So we're going to get you on a, I don't know why that does that. We're going to get you back on a line. We're going to get you back on your line. So you're going to back yourself up. You're going to burst and then burst again. And then you're going to break to the high post. Okay. And this is more of a combine drill that we were doing. So back burst, burst. Now break off that line, get to the high post, and high point the football. Your next one's going to be working that comeback route. So we're going to work a back, we're going to man turn, and we're going to practice zone turning, and we're going to get our shoulders moving, and then we're going to have to speed turn back to the ball. And so I want you backing yourself up to 15, coming back down to 13. Okay, so here it is. Back, 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 flip, come back down. Okay. And you can see that Jordan comes back down hard. Jimmy's a little bit on the flatter side, so we want to really be firm with that, okay? And these are great drills because they're just long, long transitions. And that really should take you the whole time, guys. We don't need to do much more than that. I want to focus on us really doing things the right way. So get as many reps as you can, but I do have a list of reps for you. Good luck with that.